Hey guys, hope you're well. Let's take a look at the chart of gold in a few moments. Before we look at the chart of gold, because it's one of those things that people always ask about. Hey, can you talk about gold and things like that? You may remember, first of all, several weeks ago, I made a video and I said, hey, got to be careful here because the commercial hedgers, the smart money, they've been betting against gold. They're heavily short on gold. And just very soon after I made that video, in fact, the price of gold started plummeting, dropping quite significantly. And here's the thing, guys. I remember the comments I was getting on that video. When I made that video, when I said gold is going to potentially drop, majority of the comments were, Alessio's lost his mind, doesn't know what he's talking about. Gold is not going to fall. No, it's going to keep going up. So I got a lot of ridicule, and I got a lot of just a lot of trolls talking about, oh, Alessio's lost his mind. The reason I mention this, by the way, guys, because often what usually happens is when you reach peak euphoria, when you reach peak sentiment, bullish sentiment on a market, doesn't have to be gold, it can be anything, Bitcoin, can be stock markets, whatever. When you see a huge amount of bullish, over-optimistic sentiment in the public opinion and in the public sphere and on social media, that's when usually you'll get ridiculed whenever you have a contrary opinion. So if you put a contrary opinion and say, no, actually probably gold is going to drop or have a correction, people will just ridicule you. And that's a good sign because it probably shows that you're reaching that peak euphoric stage and it's a contrarian signal, okay? So I took that as a good signal at the time. So what can we say about gold at the moment? Let's take a look at the chart of it right now. So here it is. We've got two charts here. We've got the daily on the left. We've got the weekly on the right. Firstly, let's take a look at the weekly chart on the right-hand side. You can see, first of all, that the momentum on that massive rally, the massive momentum which pushed it up, has dissipated. So the momentum has gone now the other way, which is not surprising given the fact that we've seen a correction so far on the gold market. That's a weekly time frame chart we can see on the right-hand side. One thing I can say about this weekly chart is that we did not reach the 21 weekly average. The 21 weekly is a 1440 on gold. We did not hit that level. That's important, by the way. I'll tell you why in a few minutes. But in any case, we've had at least a pullback, a drop here in the price of gold. On the daily time frame, you can see, by the way, we've had a drop since my previous video, where I said that commercial hedgers are betting against gold. Gold did drop. So far it's had a 3-section correction, which you might interpret this as an ABC type correction. So you could argue that this may be the final completion point of this ABC correction or wave 4 correction. I got to tell you though, I'm not convinced that the correction has ended. I'll tell you why, because majority of the ABC or wave 4 corrections tend to complete at the 100 moving average. The 100 moving average on the left-hand side is the orange line we can see there. And again, also the 21 weekly that's also a level where the corrections usually come to as well. We've not seen a pullback to the 100 EMA or the 21 weekly yet. So I'm a little bit cautious right now about saying the correction is completed, that the wave 4 is completed. But look, you can see where that blue arrow is. Take a look where the blue arrow is on this chart, which is right at the top of that channel. So there's kind of channel forming on gold on the daily time frame chart. I would say, look, if gold breaks through that channel to the upside, it goes above where the arrow is, about 1525, 1530, I may have to start getting bullish on gold. And that could actually mean we could be extending towards 1600, 1580 to 1600. But personally, I think it's going to be unlikely. So I personally think that we're still in a corrective phase in gold. I don't think that the correction or the corrective phase is ended. I would like to see further pullback down to the 100 EMA at the very least, or the 21 weekly at the very least. And then we might see some kind of a more stronger support. It's actually quite possible we may even break those support levels given the extreme bearish sentiment on the commercial hedgers. But anyway,